Okay, big welcome, you guys, to the work from home training call. This is every Tuesday night, and work from phone, because so much of what we do can be done through Facebook, social media, and texting. And of course, we recommend everybody to get out face-to-face book parties. But we love to do so much from our home these days that's kind of the way we market it. But with that being said, today's call is all about keto. Now, my name is Denise Walsh. I've been in a distributor with It Works for over 11 years, and I'm going to share with you why I'm more excited about what we have going on right now than I even was 11 years ago. 11 years ago, we had the hot sizzle product called the body wrap, and nobody had heard of it. It was first to market. It still is first to market. It's not yet a household name. It's an easy spa treatment that people can do in the privacy of their own home, and nobody had a brain cell for it. And although that's still the case, people more and more are becoming used to a little bit, like they've seen It Works before, or they've seen it on Facebook, or they know somebody, or that kind of thing. Although I still say 7 out of 10 people in Grand Rapids haven't heard of it at all. But what I'm even more excited about is the fact that we have a whole new line that's first to market called Keto Works. And basically, you guys, we're in front of another hot sizzle trend. If somebody were to be introduced to It Works right now, they can and will experience the same crazy momentum we did, because they're in front of another hot sizzle trend. Now, the keto lifestyle is what we're going to be talking about today, including the diet and why it works and the ins and outs of how to really experience overall health, brain health, losing weight, energy, all of the benefits of keto. It's not just weight loss. There's a whole lifestyle benefit to this diet or lifestyle plan. But the point is, you guys, that this is a whole nother trend. Like, this is not going to go away. If you do research on keto, even the Cleveland Clinic is really starting to do research on this type of lifestyle, high fat, low sugar, Alzheimer's. I listened to a whole Broken Brain series. If you listen to that, by Dr. Mike Hyman, I actually bought it and I put it in the Double Diamond group, and I put it in our Game Changer group. It's in the files tab. It's in a Dropbox folder, so you can watch all 6 of the Broken Brain series. And although it's not like a keto-focused series, it's about healing your brain, ADHD, Alzheimer's, seizures, all these things that happen. Anyway, when I listened to this throughout the winter, I became even more excited and passionate about the keto lifestyle and what It Works is in front of, because I know that it's just the beginning. Like, people are just now starting to understand that low fat does not necessarily mean healthy. In fact, low fat often means added sugar, and it ends up being a precursor to a lot of things. So I am going to let our experts talk a bit more about the ins and outs and how it all works. But what I'm going to show you today is the new keto. Ooh, there's a Broken Brain podcast. I did not know that. Totally check it out. I do know JJ Virgin is a celebrity personal trainer, nutritionist. I followed her podcast. And then Mark Hyman is at the Cleveland Clinic, and he does a lot on higher fat options as well. A Netflix movie called The Magic Pill. Interesting. Ooh, I should watch that. See, and I think that's where the thing is that it's people are just now wising up to it. You know what I mean? They're just now wising up to the fact that sugar is the culprit, fat is not, and higher fat actually impacts brain function. So with that being said, hey, Elizabeth. I love when friends are on here. I mean, you guys are all friends. That's why I love seeing you on here. It's like hanging out with my friends. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go through this website. This is something that you have access to. Cheering. goes the crowd. Yes, because, okay, it's called Start Keto Today, and you put your URL right here. So your It Works replicated URL, you go here. Now, the reason this is cool for a lot of different reasons, but one of them is because of the content. This is instead of your It Works page. Okay. If you're focusing on keto products, you can just send them this. Now, I do know they're working to make it into Canada because Canada doesn't have all the products or whatever the countries are. So they are going to flip that around. But basically, this is what's keto. Eat fat to burn fat. This is all about the ketogenic lifestyle. And I can tell you, Brandon helped them reword this. So it was easy to read, and marketing based. So instead of blog based, meaning that it's just full of information, the goal of this is that it takes people on a journey, that it's selling them the products while they're reading it, where they're thinking like the things we've been learning. Me too. I need that kind of thing. So there's a reason for all of the different headlines, for the buttons, all of that has been marketing approved, which is kind of cool. So buzzword, the science behind keto, reasons why, start your keto journey, shop keto, and testimonies. So again, go through this yourself, press the buttons, know what it says so you can learn and be educated, but then you also can have confidence when you're sending people here that they're getting good information. So just pretty cool. What are ketones? Ketones basically are what, as your body breaks down fat for fuel, it produces ketones. And the byproduct of this is fat metabolism in your liver. Ketones are a more efficient source of energy for your body than glucose. Sugar and carbs turn into glucose. Protein even turns into glucose, but fat turns into ketones. So again, more information. Fat versus carbs. Isn't this interesting? Lots of good information here. Okay, so why keto? This is again some of the science, what to eat, success stories. You can highlight this URL and just send people this. And as of right now, you can put it on Facebook. Like you can put it in a message. So success stories. Krista, I did tell them that they put a Y instead of an A. So this is a Krista. She's on our team. Allison is on our team. And we've got some cool pictures down here. So again, this is just important for you to know so that way you can help guide them. What to eat, tips, and then products. So this is important too, because what's cool about this, you guys, is again, you can just send them here. Just copy and paste this URL and send that directly to them. Or you can focus on one product. You can focus on Keto Energy, the newest product. And then when they press buy now, they have the option to either sign up as a distributor or a customer. So if they sign up as a customer and press checkout, it goes to your replicated site. That again is why this is really darn cool, because it's a simplified version of the It Works website. Instead of sending them everything and having them filter through, you can send them this, which is focused on keto specifically. So for those, as we know, when we're focusing on money, we get distributors. When we're focusing on wraps, we get customers. When we're focusing on keto, we're going to get lifestyle clients that use all of the keto products and stay with us for a long time. So again, when they press shop, it goes here, and there you go. So I think this website is super cool. I think it's definitely something that you want to get to know, that you want to use. And yeah, this is just the beginning. So I'm really excited about it. We will talk more about the Keto Energy specifically. It is open in all of the markets. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And we do have buy 2 bags, get 1 free through the end of the week. So for $60, you get 90 of these. I would fill them up, do giveaways on your Facebook, do samples. Elizabeth, I'm going to bring some to the office tomorrow. So anybody who comes to hang out with me gets some. I know, come to Michigan. But I think that this is just another reason to get people in front of a party, to have them sample. It's an easy thing you can give out at a coffee date or at lunch or when you're just hanging out with people. So have these in your purse all of the time. The other thing that I know is that they are going to be launching a marketing campaign essentially, and I think the winners of us who are like creating excitement on social media are going to win something from corporate. So you're going to want to have some of these in your hand so you can participate in that marketing campaign. So okay, let me see the chat for a minute. Oh, yeah, Australia doesn't have it. I'm sorry, Joanne. Shoot, but you guys have Greensboro right now. I know. It's like mediumly cool, but it's cool. But I know. But you're right. Australia will get some. Your replicated site start keto today. Correct. Yeah. So good. Okay. So Elizabeth, I'll just share with you real quick about this before we move into keto specifically. So the keto energy. Okay, a couple things. Keto energy, this is like a pixie stick. You just put it on your tongue. No water needed. Again, that's one thing that separates it from anything else. It's basically like a B12 shot. I'm going to look while our people, our experts are sharing, and I'm going to see how much B12 is in a B12 shot because people are comparing that, and I want to kind of know more. But it's B12, B6, calcium, iron, chromium. It has some green tea, and then it also has a couple things that I'm hearing are really good are guarana seed extract and then ashwagandha root. I'll post that later. But it's all natural, no chemicals, and it's a big boost of mental clarity and energy. And you just pour it on your tongue. And why I like it is because it's only 5 calories. It's not an extra drink. It's not, you don't want to drink your calories, and sometimes you just need a boost, and this is going to be seriously amazing for that. You absolutely can use it as a pre-workout, basically because of the energy boost. So, okay. We'll go through the different products and we go through like how to use these in your lifestyle, but I would love to introduce Audrey Milford. Yay! Audrey, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, everybody.
Yay! All right. Well, I asked Audrey to be on the call because not only is she like lots of reasons, Audrey, you're super smart. But I've seen you going live recently about the keto lifestyle, teaching people the benefits of it. So I know that you have a science background and you're just like very well versed. So I would love for you to share a bit about how you use keto, how you teach it, why you love it, and why it works, and all of the good stuff.
All right. Thank you. Well, I'm going to actually give all the credit to my sister because she's the research junkie. And she's my walking encyclopedia of health. I just always go to my sister, but I've learned so much over the years. And actually I heard about the keto diet, like I can't even tell you how many years ago. I was watching something, and it was a famous newscaster in the States actually who had brain cancer. And he was talking about how the keto diet changed his life, and really I'd never heard of it at that point. So it really opened my eyes to it. I've heard about it, dabbled in it, and now I'm so excited because everybody is asking about it, looking for it, curious about it, or they know somebody who's doing it. So I'm going to cover just a couple things. I want to cover the basics of a keto diet, the lingo of a keto diet, a few great sources, and how to start. Our website that we have, honestly, you have to spend the time reading it because it is incredible. It really just does simplify it for you, and it's going to help you feel a lot more confident when you talk to potential customers. But the basics of a keto diet is that your body has a fuel source, and typically our fuel source is carbs, and our bodies are used to using that as the main fuel source. When you change over to a ketogenic lifestyle, your body is accustomed to using fat as its main fuel source. So it's not to say that you don't use carbs, but fat is what it goes to first. So that's the absolute basic of a ketogenic diet. The benefits, it gives you mental clarity, gives you energy, it helps with weight loss. And it's something that can benefit anybody and everybody. But I'm going to tell you, there is no one specific keto plan. There is so many variations and so many ways you can do it that honestly, it can be changed to accommodate pretty much everybody's life. So some people are really, really stuck on it. And you don't have to be, because it's not necessarily, like I just saw somebody posted there, it's not about always weight loss. You can see me, I'm a naturally thin person. It's my tall Dutch blood that's running through me, I think. But it's not about weight loss for me. It's about energy and mental clarity. For my husband, Denise can show you the pictures on the screen, but he lost 100 pounds. So for him, it was all about weight loss. And, it completely changed him. So, it's everybody has their different journey, but it's how you incorporate it into your life. And there's also different ways to do a ketogenic lifestyle.
So if it's not for about weight loss, what other things do you experience? What other benefits are there?
So you definitely, it's the, like you experienced it too, right? It's that energy, that mental clarity, that just a different level, really. But I'm going to tell you that that's why there's different keto plans. There is a way to start that if you were on fat loss, looking at weight loss, getting rid of that extra fat, there's a way to do keto. But then if you're at a stage where your body is already adapted to burning fat, then again, there's a different way of eating. Then there's a different way, so there's different stages that you're going to be at. If you're somebody who works out like a fiend, you're going to be eating differently than somebody who doesn't, but is doing keto. So there's lots of ways to do it. And that's why I say, don't get stuck on it being, it has to be exactly this, specific meal plan. There's just more about ratios. So that's where I'm going to talk about lingo. Okay. So this is going to help you when you talk to a customer. Maybe they know a little bit, right? And they know a little bit more than you. That's intimidating, right? Because you're trying to sell them on a keto product and you're going, I have no idea, but I know it's keto friendly, right? Let me give you some basic lingo. So number one is intermittent fasting. Okay. This is a huge part of a ketogenic lifestyle. It's about letting your body, again, have that time. It's in a it's in a fat burning mode. So rather than, burning the fats from foods, it's burning the fats from your body. So it can work whether you're doing weight loss or not. Intermittent fasting is important. How you break your fast is huge, right? So don't break your fast with a ton of garbage food. What you break your fast with is just as important as the fasting. Macros. You're going to hear everybody who does keto saying, I count macros, right? Well, macros are essentially just a breakdown of where your carbs, your protein, and fat come from, right? So that's going to be the breakdown. So that's where you're looking at certain percentages, right? Here's your percentages. I love that. Thank you, Denise. So healthy fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and carb cycling. Now, again, this is one way to do it. There are variations where your percentages shift a bit. Your carb cycling can shift. Some people need to do carb ups once a day. Some people need to do them 3 times a week. Some people need to do them once a week. Everybody is different with the carb ups, but again, it depends what stage you're at. But I'm not going to go into that because you have to do your own research for that. Carbohydrates. Okay, this is just one simple thing that a lot of people miss. When you look at a label, you have your carbs, your net carbs, but you have to subtract your fiber. Okay, so you take your carbs, but you subtract the fiber, so you get your net carbs. Okay, that's just an important thing. Some people forget to do that. Ketones are important. They are what helps the body, right, be in that fat burning mode. I've had a couple of my distributors have this question thrown at them or put at one of their posts on Facebook when they started. And it was somebody talking about how ketones are dangerous. And I'm just going to say ketones are not dangerous unless you are diabetic. Okay, so not necessarily type 2. Type 2, you have to moderate what you're doing. But my daughter is a type 1 diabetic. She does not have a functioning pancreas. She has no insulin. So being in ketosis, diabetic ketoacidosis, is dangerous for her. It doesn't mean, though, that being on a low carb, high fat diet is dangerous for her. So two very different things. Just if you ever get that thrown at you, you know how to respond.
And one thing I want to mention too is, even if somebody is not wanting to do full blown keto,
Oh yeah,
like everybody will benefit with lower sugar, period.
Yeah.
So I think that whether or not you're like, high fat is the way to go, yeah, get into ketosis, like these products are gonna, like, low sugars, and we all can get around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we all can really rally around low, like, now processed foods and low sugar and whole foods and things like that. And so, yeah, I just think that, like, regardless of your enthusiasm about keto, I do think that there's something that we all can get excited about.
You definitely that's what I love, is you can take elements of a ketogenic lifestyle and incorporate that into your life. So I don't do hardcore keto all the time. Like, that is just, I don't. My husband sticks to a regimen because that's what works for him, because he had so much weight loss that if he deviates, he gains the weight back. So he has to. So I'm going to just give you a couple basics on how to start, and then I'll give you some awesome sources so you can do some more research. Okay. So when you start, you don't have to go 150%. Okay. Just take elements and incorporate them and work towards it. If you are somebody who's eating 900 carbs a day, and people do that, you don't realize it, but trust me, you can add them up and you'd be surprised how many you've eaten a day. And then you start to go to 20 carbs a day. That's like a huge shock for your body. So it's okay to do a gradual shift. And that's probably going to be actually easier on your body than going full blast. Your body, when you're getting into ketosis, it needs salts. So it needs that. That's why we have salt in our coffee, right? Those Himalayan salts, because you're not getting it from the foods as much. So your body still needs those salts. So make sure that you have them, whether you put it in, your drinks, or you have the keto coffee. I know Cammie was just saying that she's adding it to her greens. So that's another way to do it. Tracking, you're going to track your foods. This is a nightmare for some people. Okay. Weighing and measuring and tracking. It's not forever, but oh my goodness, the awareness you will have of what is going in your mouth will blow your mind. When my daughter was diagnosed with diabetes, we had to start measuring and weighing every ounce of food that went in her mouth. And I'm telling you, I can look at a plate of anything and tell you what carbs are in it. And so I'm going to tell you, your mind will be blown at how many carbs are in things that you don't even realize it. There it is. Look at that. So Denise is showing that app, which is my Fitness Pal. I'm going to tell you an app that my husband uses, which he has absolutely loved, and it's called Carb Manager. It is a fantastic app, and he said it's really friendly to the keto diet. It gives you just the simple information that you need. Sometimes the Fitness Pal, it's a little overwhelming. The Carb Manager app is fantastic. So that's a really great, simple one. If you're tracking, you can go meal to meal. You can do like 5 days of writing down your food and then put it in an app. Okay. And then it'll give you a really great idea. Follow a meal plan, see how it goes, or just do portioning. And you can start testing your urine with pee sticks, or you can do, that's the cheapest way to check and see if your body is in ketosis. One of the tips I'm going to tell you, though, is if you're testing after 3 to 5 days, you're in ketosis, but your body is not yet in a fat burning mode. So if you stop at that point, your body will go right back to wanting to use carbohydrates as its fuel. But if you've been doing it for 3 to 6 weeks, your body is now shifted to that fat burning mode. And so if you have a day where you deviate, it's going to go back really, really quick into ketosis. So that's the difference there.
So the key then is to stay consistent with it, so your body really adjusts
It
And
shifts.
then you can be a little bit more wiggle roomy because you'll jump right back.
Exactly. So I'll give you two other quick things, and then you can go on to Becky, who has awesome things to say as well. Bone broth, best friend. It's awesome. Okay. Learn how to make bone broth for a keto lifestyle. It's awesome. Fat bombs are amazing. You can make every kind of recipe possible. And I'm going to tell you, as a marketing tool, it is brilliant. You can incorporate our coffee, our keto creamer into a fat bomb. I just did a live with a friend of mine on my Facebook page, a 30-minute live. We made fat bomb and a keto-friendly dessert. And she's a pampered chef girl. She got to show off her tools. I got to show off my product and recipes. Neither of us conflicted, and we both got to tap into each other's markets. I'm going to be doing another one with my personal trainer. So she's going to be talking about food prep, etc. I'm going to talk about fat bombs. So
smart. And I don't know why it's really bright, but I want to just mention
you're glowing.
I am. One of the things that I'm hearing you say is you're collaborating as well. And when you're collaborating and you're getting in front of their market, you really can just both benefit each other.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been huge, and I'm going to keep doing these lives. Like I said to this pampered chef friend, I said, we need to do parties together. So I'm going to start coming to her parties to teach how to do fat bombs while she sells her tools. So, all right. And then I'm just going to finish off with some of my favorite sources, and I'll type them in the chat after I'm done talking, but I love dietdoctor.com. So it's diet and then the full word doctor, dietdoctor.com. Great information. YouTube videos, Eric Berg, B-E-R-G. He's got great, quick little, they're like 5-minute videos, awesome little tips. And then one of my favorite cookbooks is this girl here. If you can see her, she's a Canadian girl, Leanne Vogel. But I'm going to tell you, she has the most brilliant information and charts and everything, like amazing information in her book. Like, you can't go wrong. So.
And she has a podcast too.
Yes.
So I've learned a lot from listening to her as well.
So there you go. So if anybody has any questions, I can answer them. I don't know if there's any that popped up there, but.
I do have one question. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wonder what the author's name was on that book.
Leanne Vogel, Leannevogel. Leanne Vogel.
One question I have, you mentioned a bit about marketing, and you're going live, you're showing fat bombs, you are teaching people what they can do, you're kind of becoming an authority, and you're sharing your journey. What else can people do to market this to their audience?
So I think showing people, even if you're not doing it 100%, show people that you are learning about it. Show people that you're interested in it. My Instagram story, if I make a keto-friendly meal, it has the hashtag keto on it, and I have a picture of my meal. And I'm going to tell you, it's really funny. I can watch the number of people who see my Instagram stories. If I use the keto hashtag, it like doubles or triples how many people see it. Mm-hmm. So that's been huge.
Yeah. Keto's trending. I mean, fat bomb. I mean, these are all keywords that you can be hashtagging and searching too, because a lot of people are doing keto, but they're not getting paid for keto.
That's right. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So thank you, Audrey. Very, very helpful. If you could put any of the names that you mentioned in the chat, people are asking for that.
Yeah.
And next up, we have Miss Becky. Woohoo! Now, Becky, I'm going to show your picture here because Becky was on stage at conference. You guys got to see her sexy beast. And how much have you lost so far?
35 now altogether.
And when did you start?
The week after Canadian Thanksgiving because I wanted stuffing.
Okay. And that's October? Is that October?
So middle of October.
Okay. So middle of October, she was on stage in February at conference. She's kind of hit her like ideal weight and is now in a lifestyle maintenance phase. So what she's going to tell us about is how she's been able to incorporate it, and then like what her daily life looks like, incorporating all of the products and things, and then how she's been able to market it as well.
Okay. So, hi, everyone. So first of all, I just want to jump on Audrey's there and say, like, when I've been marketing it, I was sending them to all the websites that Audrey had mentioned. So dietdoctor.com, Keto Connect, ruled.me is another one that I use. And it's just like, now we have our own resource that people can go to and get that same information from. So I was super excited when they announced that. Like, that was more exciting to me almost than the keto energy, because I just feel like I was, people have seen my results and I've been posting my pictures, and then they're like, people are messaging me like, what are you doing? Tell me how you're doing it. And I'm like sending them to all these other websites. So the fact that we have our own, and then it links directly to where you can get some of the products that I've been using has been awesome. So that is where I started. On the websites, I knew we had keto coming and I wanted to try it. And so I just started like Googling everything. And then I also used Facebook as a resource, because when I first started, I just kind of like jumped in. We're going to do this. I don't know how. So then I was like starving by 7:00 at night. And I'm like, I had 80 grams of fat still to eat. And I was like, Facebook people, like, what? How do you eat this much fat? So I just like got loud on Facebook as I was learning, because I didn't know how to do it, but I was doing it. So I just
So how do you think that helped you?
Well, I had to be a little bit diplomatic in some of the comments I allowed on my post, because there's very strong opinions of it the other way as well too. So, but it has helped in that, like, people know what I'm doing and then they're seeing what I'm doing. So at the beginning, when I was getting this like, oh, you shouldn't do this and it's terrible for you and that sort of thing, I didn't know any better and I didn't have the results. And now I have the results, and the more that I see, and this is something I was going to mention too, the magic pill that somebody put in the comments, I was going to mention that today, because I have seen another sideline. He went live about it the other day too, and it is incredible. One of the things I want to share with you guys is we could not make some of the oils and fatty oils, like vegetable oils that we use that are super unhealthy for us, until the industrial era of humans. We have only been eating grains for 500 generations, and we have been eating a meat and plant-based diet for 100,000 generations, not years, generations, which means our bodies are like everything. Like MS is the deterioration of the fat around the nerves. And like, so everything in our body is made up of fats. And so we have only been eating this grain diet for such a short amount of time, and that's where cancer and diabetes and all of these illnesses, ADHD and ADD and everything, like it's incredible. So I recommend you guys take an hour and a half and go and watch that, because it's just also helped me really get more confident in what I'm doing.
And I think when you're talking about the Facebook stuff, one thing it reminds me of is a lot of times people think they need to know everything in order to really get started. And what you're saying is you used the Facebook to create excitement about the journey itself. So you weren't like, oh, look at me. It's been 3 months and now I've done keto and look at my before and after picture. You're saying, okay, guys, I'm about to embark on this adventure and I'm going to need your help. And you're drawing people into your journey every step of the way, ups and downs and learning curves and all of the things. And people want to be a part of the journey. So don't feel like you need to be the expert and you need to know all the ins and outs. You just, like, what I love what you did, Becky, is you didn't do it quietly. You did your journey loudly, which allowed people to be drawn in to pay attention. And as we know, they need to see us 7 to 12 times before they say yes. They also need to get to know us. They need to like, know, and trust us, which means we can't just be an It Works billboard on our pages. So you are like showing your personality, you're showing your fears, you're showing your struggles, you're showing, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. And people are learning about you. They're liking, knowing, and trusting you because they're watching your journey. And then you're like, oh my gosh, we've got keto coffee. Sweet. You want some? You know what I mean? And so for those of you that are like, but I need to know everything, just know that that's not true. What Becky did is brilliant. People want to know, like, be a part of your journey. They don't really care about your success. They want to know how you got there. So doing it, learning and teaching is like the best thing that you can do to generate interest in what you're doing. Because if you're on a pedestal and you're like, look at me, I'm now a keto expert, it's not going to be as relatable or as impactful as them seeing you every step of the way. So, Becky, I just want you to know that you're a genius and it was very smart. And you sharing your journey so publicly is what got you on stage, but it's also gotten you a lot more interest and people getting to know you throughout the process. Okay, that was a long rant. Sorry.
Thank you. Because completely unintentional too. I was like, I'm going to do this and I don't know. So I am going to say Joanne. So the Aussie chef that she said that was involved in the movie. So the Aboriginal community that they interviewed in that movie, they said, how are people dying now? They're like diabetes, heart disease, everything. How are people dying 50 years from now? Or 50 years ago, infection and all of that kind of stuff. And then they took care of that. And they said, how are people dying before this? And she's like, they would kill one another, crocodiles or sharks. And then old age. Like that was how you died before all of this introduction. So again, very cool. So I digress. Okay. So how I did it, I just researched and I got an fitness, like my Fitness Pal. I got an app and I started tracking. I met with Mark and Audrey at one of our local team meetings, and Mark was like, are you weighing your food? And I said, Mark, I would never do this if I had to weigh my food. And he's like, well, how do you know how much you're eating? And I'm like, I cook some chicken, I put it in a cup. If that looks like about a cup, then I dump it on my salad. So I was not like nitty gritty weighing my food, anything. I was just going, okay, this is about this much and that's what I'm putting in. And then I peed on the stick, and I didn't get obsessive about it either. I peed on the stick every couple days because I just wanted to make sure I was still doing the right thing. I started with eggs and bacon for breakfast, and that was annoying when I have 4 kids to make breakfast for. So when we got our keto coffee, that was game changer for me. Now I'm out of keto coffee right now, but my auto ship last month had creamer in it. So I'm like, yay. So now I can just have regular coffee with my creamer. And then I also had a shake tonight, and I put natural peanut butter in it and a scoop of the creamer. So just to get that fat. And I might have had some almonds right before we got on the Zoom here tonight. So that is really what I'm doing. I did start my own keto group because I just feel like that was a good way to get information to people who were asking me about it. Another thing that Audrey said that I agree with is do not drop to 10% carbs or 20 carbs a day your first day. You will never, ever get it. Joanne, you can get them at Walmart. You have to ask for them behind the pharmacy counter, though. At least here you do. I don't know if it's...
I got it at our local Meijer in the pharmacy section.
Okay. Awesome. I also did not get the keto flu, which is something you have to warn people about. And I attribute that to my core nutrition, I feel like. I feel like that really had a lot to do. And I also think, and I think somebody mentioned it in the comments, I think the keto energy is going to make a difference for people in the beginning because it's electrolytes and it's that you're missing at the beginning that you're not always getting when you're learning how to eat that way. And then fat bombs, like that was the answer to my how do you eat this much fat post was fat bombs. And so those have been really fun to experiment with. I had cookies with me this weekend that I brought on the plane. They're keto Thin Mints and they were delicious. So I am not a clean ketoer. Like I mean, I'm not terrible, but I use mayonnaise sometimes. Like if I have some tuna, I will have some avocado and I will put some mayonnaise in there. So I'm not 100% perfect all the time, but I also don't want to be like that person either. And I have 4 kids. So one of the ways I've been able to just substitute a lot of things, we have spaghetti for dinner and I will have zoodles, like zucchini noodles. And I'll just have some butter and Parmesan cheese on it.
So good, huh?
It's amazing.
So good.
So I just try and we have breakfast for dinner like once a week, probably 2. So then that's really easy for me because I can just have my eggs and stuff and the kids can have eggs and toast. And so I've really tried to, and honestly, I eat a lot of the same thing all the time. But my super simple is keto coffee in the morning, shake with creamer, and then dinner. And then a fat bomb or 2 in there if I need to. That is my maintenance. And because it's so easy, that's how I can keep on doing it. And fat adapted is a thing because I ate a chocolate bunny after Easter. That was not mine. And so even though that was like a treat almost every day for me, I would have like a piece of it. I have not gained a pound back of anything that I've lost. And now I'm starting to work out as well too. So that's been really.
So do you feel hungry? Because that doesn't seem like a ton of food to me.
No. And usually I try and it depends on if I have kids, I get super distracted, like with work or whatever. If I have my coffee in the morning, 8:30 or 9, I might not eat lunch until 1 o'clock. And that even sometimes it'll be like, oh, I should probably eat something because it's lunch. And then other days I'll be like, it's 11 o'clock and I need a fat bomb just to keep me going.
I can contribute. That's just having those fats. It's almost like extending your fast, right? So that's why it's good because it just gives you that little extra burst, but it's not breaking your fast.
Yes. And I did see another question in the comments.
So the biggest thing, you guys, I'm going to share the screen again to what I would recommend doing if you're wanting to get started on this is to write yourself out basically a meal plan where you can follow it. Let me see, here's some
Diet Doctor too, aside from our website, has also
meal plans.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, at least when I'm learning, I just want to be told what to do. And then as I learn, I can switch things out. So it sounds like keto coffee in the morning with chocolate greens, if you have that. Like I don't even need Starbucks anymore. And then a shake with creamer. And I remember the creamer is basically the fat from keto coffee, just separate. So you can add it to anything. And then protein and vegetables for dinner. And when you get in that consistent routine with maybe some fat bombs throw out if you need to, you're having the higher fat, you're having vegetables basically for carbs. And what happens is you think clearer, you're full faster, you don't have the cravings. For those of you that don't know, I did a bodybuilding competition 2 years ago now. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time. And it's like the glory days, like One time I did that. But I was eating every 3 hours. It was very high protein and they manipulated carbs. And I was starving all the time, starving, craving tons of things. Like it was really not easy. And
Wow.
when I do keto, I just don't even think about food, which I think when you're in a traditional diet, you're constantly thinking, when is my next food? And, oh, I want that because I've got cravings and I can't have it. But when you're having that fat, you don't even have the cravings for the sugar. So the first week might be a little different. You might get a headache. You might get the keto flu a little bit because it's detoxing from sugar, which is a good thing. And then once you get over that hump, it really truly is easy in a sense because you're not that hungry, you don't crave things, and the foods that you can quote unquote eat are delicious, like avocados and the fat bombs and chicken and vegetables and all of these things. So it's just creating those new habits and incorporating the products into it so then you can consistently market what you're doing, market the journey, tell people what it is, and then ask them to join you. So all right, Becky, keep going. You were going to answer a question.
No, I just saw what was the response to those comments. And there was a comment that just said, hey, like plant-based is the way to go. Everybody should do this. And I was like, okay, I'm not really going to get into this. Like, this is the journey that I've started. And then it turned out that they wouldn't stop. And I had to delete the whole comment. And I just like, let it go. I wasn't going to get into that. And then how were you maintaining? I feel like I answered that pretty good. But I think that was it then. So, and I think that's all I had to share.
I have 2 more things to add on.
Go ahead.
So number 1 is just from perspective of science is if you have any customers, potential customers, or you yourself have had your gallbladder removed, keto is hard because your gallbladder's function is to help break down fats. Okay. So if you have somebody who, we have Shauna Heidi on the team who had her gallbladder removed, and this is thanks to my sister's knowledge. She recommended that you get a digestive enzyme that includes ox bile, OX space BILE, ox bile. Okay. And that will help your body be able to break down those fats. So as soon as Shauna added that, she had no more problems with her coffee. Prior to that, she couldn't drink the coffee. So anyways, just a small tip. If you have somebody who has gallbladder issues and wants to do keto, that's
good tip. Good to know.
Yeah. And Ambassador Bound did say she does plant-based keto. That's fine. That was just not how I chose to go. And they got into a big discussion about how
what's interesting about keto is it can be a little bit polarizing. Like people who love keto, they're so diehard, but people who are vegan love being vegan. And I agree. I really like vegetables. So.
Vegetarian, you can do definitely you can do a keto as a vegetarian. You can do it dairy free as well. Actually, Leanne, the cookbook I showed you, is she can't do dairy. So yeah, so that would be what you can do. The other thing, marketing perspective, is I'm going to start doing this myself, is doing hashtag Fat Bomb Friday. So every Friday, I'm going to start featuring a fat bomb recipe. Because you can Google it and you will find a million fat bomb recipes. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what questions are out there about the keto lifestyle, the how to market it, how to use our products to make it even easier? What other questions do you have? Yes, Ambassador Stacy. People that are plant-based can do keto. I think it isn't because I don't really do dairy, but you can do a lot of other things. Olive oil is a great fat. Avocado.
Yeah. There was what's a good replacement for avocado? There isn't one. No. Okay. There really isn't but what if you're not trying to lose weight? Then you can do a keto. There's a calculator on ruled.me, and you just put in what your goals are and how much you weigh and what your activity level is, just as you were going to do any other type of diet, and it will tell you. So you don't have to You don't have to be doing it for weight loss. Like I'm not doing it for weight loss now because I kind of hit where I wanted to be. And then I'm like, I don't think I want to lose any more weight. So I've just been hanging out.
It'll put you at a healthy weight. It'll put you at a healthy weight. I just saw Elizabeth's question about affecting your cycle and stuff. So that is actually one of the things in this book that I found interesting. She does write about that, and especially with hormones and with women and how it can shift things. So honestly, I would just recommend getting this book.
Elizabeth, I have it. I'll bring it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's really good. And I agree. I think that there's a lot of hormone healing that can happen with this. I've heard a lot of really cool things.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? There was something else.
While you're thinking of it, I can tell you if you're using the keto sticks to test, you're trying to see if you're in ketosis, the levels will be different if you've just eaten a ton of protein. That can actually decrease your ketones for a bit. So
is it better to do the stick in the morning, first thing in the morning?
Actually, that's going to be your lowest ketones.
Okay.
So I can't remember what time of day. It's, I think, just throughout the day, but it's just, if you've just eaten a huge chunk of protein, it can also affect your ketones.
I also know, and we've talked about this a little bit too, ketosis is ketosis, whether you're dark purple or lot. And even on that magic pill thing, they said mild ketosis is like the optimum place to be.
Yeah.
So.
Elizabeth, she says from a fertility standpoint, this is healing her. She was without a cycle for 16 months and you got it on week 2. Elizabeth! Oh my gosh. I'm like, that's so powerful. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. And it's not TMI. We're all family here.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's what a testimonial though.
That's really awesome. And I know, well, I know a little bit about Elizabeth's story, and it's been something she struggled with for quite a while. So how amazing is that? Market the crap out of that, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if it was safe for breastfeeding. It is safe, but just, I always say, just, be aware, listen to your body. If your body's telling you you need like fruit today, eat some fruit. Okay.
Yeah.
Like when you're breastfeeding, you're hungrier and your body needs more. So don't be super, super strict, but you can definitely take all the elements of keto.
Yes. And it is to go along with that too. I know I had to consume an extra 1,000 calories when I was breastfeeding the twins. Yep. So that, like, my mom made fun of how much I ate, and I was back in my regular pants like right after they were born. Because they were just like literally sucking it out of me. But it's still a calories in, calories out.
Yes.
If you want to lose weight. If you want to maintain, then it's, you can eat the same amount as you're burning, but it's still calories in versus calories out for weight loss.
That's what I was going to say. Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome.
It really is. Like, so when people are like, is this going to make me lose too much weight? You're still, if you're still eating 2,000 calories a day or whatever it is. The macronutrient distribution is what's different. And so if you're eating more calories, for example, if somebody's not doing keto, but they're adding creamer and they're adding keto coffee and they're adding these things, essentially you're just adding more calories. So if you're not balancing it out by not having peanut butter, I don't know, then you're just adding more calories. And that's where you can have, you're overeating. But if your calories are lower, you're going to lose the weight. If your calories are higher, you're going to gain the weight. And you can look at a lot of calorie calculators on there. Ooh, what are you showing us?
This is from that book you're bringing Elizabeth tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, calories per day. Cool.
So this is her chart that says exactly how many calories and what percentages you're looking at. It's a beautiful chart. It makes it so easy to be like, okay, I need this many grams of that if I'm doing this many calories, and it's awesome.
And to answer the question, fruits are sugar, so fructose. So that's why they say keep sugars to a minimum, and then vegetables that are grown above ground. So potatoes are considered carbs and starch, sweet potatoes even. But again, the cool thing is, you guys, is you're really doing a science experiment with your body. I would recommend committing to doing this for 4 to 6 weeks. Document your journey loudly and then play around with it. I found, because I do work out quite a bit, I do need Ezekiel bread or some brown rice in my day. I'm not eating sugar, but I am having some complex carbs because I find that my body really absorbs it and needs it. But I didn't know that until I started playing around with things. So you'll learn what your body really doesn't like. But I think you do have to track, and you do have to kind of be mindful, and you do have to have a plan and stick to it so you can learn the basics, and then you can start to play.
So Elizabeth, fat is more satiating, and if you don't hit your fat macros, that's okay if you're trying to lose weight too.
Yeah.
So also, this, I talked about it on my live, but I don't know if we talked about it on a Zoom or not. The sugar in this, I can't remember what it's called, but it takes 4 to 5 times longer to absorb than regular sugar does, so you don't get that spike in insulin. So that's what is awesome about this keto energy.
It's like monk fruit, which is a really good keto sugar substitute. Monk fruit and stevia.
Great for diabetics.
Great for diabetics. Good.
That's what I use for all my daughter's cooking, because when I bake stuff for her, because it won't spike her insulin.
Every time we come out with a new product and doing research on other products, I'm just so in love with our standards and our mission, the fact that this is not full of junk and people have monsters all the time. And this is, we just really have good quality products that have good ingredients that are going to be long standing,
You need to market the new energy to anybody who drinks energy drinks.
Yeah.
Anybody who drinks the crazy energy drinks.
Yes. And there's no crash. That's a great point. I had it yesterday at 2, and sometimes I get pooped, like a crash. And I really didn't. It was so sustaining. So, all right. Any other questions? It is almost 10 o'clock. Thank you, Audrey and Becky, for your wisdom and experience. Stephanie, if you're on here, Barb said you had something to share too, but I didn't even see you. So feel free to unmute yourself if you're. Ooh, Red Bull. Yes, Alexis.
Just stand in the grocery store beside the Red Bull display.
You need this. You need this. You need this. Yeah. I posted on my Facebook, I said, I've got 10 samples to hand out or to send to people. And I had people, old distributors that, they've been canceled for a while. I had several people from my new mom friends from Owen's school. Oh yeah, I'll send you one. So I sent out 10 of these in one day. So post on Facebook, and that gives you a reason to follow up with them, gives you a reason to connect with them, and they're going to love it. So, all right. So what I'd recommend is, regardless of if you want to do full-blown keto, try it for 4 to 6 weeks, use our products, learn about it, so then you can talk intelligently to your clients and your customers, and heck, get a before and after picture, have your own story, because regardless of, again, if you want to do keto long-term or not, we can all get around low sugar, whole foods, and brain health. So I think there's something for all of us to get excited about. So thank you so much again, and we will be here same time, same place next week. Bye.
Bye.